Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to episode 11 of my show Wrestling with Brent. Uh, Tonight I'm going to be giving the all-out review, the AEW pay-per-view from last night. Um, a lot of people in the wrestling community on YouTube and Twitter gave the show a bad rating, a lot of mixed reviews. Um, My opinion, I thought this was a very good show. I really liked it. Um, a lot of people said it was AEW's worst show they've ever put on, worst pay-per-view. I wouldn't say that, uh, but it certainly had some issues, some botches, and a scary moment with Matt Hardy. But all in all, I thought it was really good, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was better than WrestleMania. I thought it was even better than SummerSlam. Uh, yeah, so that's just my opinion. Um, so in all, I'd give the show a 6 out of 10, 6 out of 10 rating. This was a very good show. Um, I liked all the matches except for the very first match. Even the pre-show match I thought was good. I didn't care for the very first match on the card, the Britt Baker Big Swole match. It was terrible, stupid. Uh, a lot of people, including myself, questioned why Tony Khan didn't put this on the main card. Obviously, we found out why. Tony gave it to the fans to listen to him, put it on the main card. He should have stuck to his guns and kept it on the pre-show. Because this was terrible. Uh, yeah. So quickly, I'm gonna just go through that first match first. Um, Big Swole won. That was it. That's all I want to say about that. Terrible match. Hope they never do it again. And that's it for that. All right. Next match. Next match, we have the Young Bucks versus Jurassic Express. Thought this was a really good match. Young Bucks looked really good. They continue showing that more aggressive, mean side. Um, Jurassic Express looked really good. Um, there was a lot of really cool moves and cool spots in this match. I really enjoyed this match. Jurassic Express hit stage level event and Nick makes a sloppy pin break while Luchasaurus just watches. Jungle Boy throws Nick over the barricade. Luchasaurus hits a springboard onto him and all the other guys in the crowd. That was awesome when he did that springboard. Jungle Boy springboards to the ring and Matt super kicks him. Then Nick comes back for a super kick party, but he kicks out. Victor E. Trigger wins the match for the heels. So the Young Bucks won. Still don't know if I'd call the Young Bucks heels, but whatever. It's a very good match. Had a lot of cool spots in it. Both teams looked really good. I really enjoyed this match. Um, all right, next we have the Casino Battle Royal. Winner gets an AEW World Championship match. Match starts with Jake Hager, Trent, The Blade, Ray Phoenix, Christopher Daniels. Frank Kazarian then comes out. Have Will Hobbs. He was been on the AEW Dark a lot. He looked really good in this match, I thought. Chuck Taylor, Santana and Ortiz. Billy Gunn, Ricky Starks, Brian Cage, Pentagon, Darby Allin, Cage Military, uh, Darby Allin comes in and starts beating everybody with a skateboard. I like that. Billy Gunn was also in the match. Cage Military pressed him out. Uh, Darby Allin hit Ricky with the skateboard, then hits Canadian Destroyer. Darby eliminates Ray Phoenix and best friends. Hits Soul Food to Kazarian. Chuck is thrown over and out by Ortiz. Shawn Spears, Eddie Kingston, Lance Archer, The Butcher, Sonny Kiss was the final entrance in the match. Spears joins the commentary team first, thought that was funny. Uh, had a scary spot here in the match with Darby Allin that was very dangerous. I liked it and I get it, but I don't think they should be doing these anymore. These spots, just too risky, and in my opinion, even though I know Love Darby loves doing that stuff, I wouldn't have done it. Very risky, but then he could be really hurt. But thankfully, he's okay. From what I've heard, I hadn't heard otherwise. Uh, Brian Cage put Darby in his body bag and zips it up, then throws Darby over the ropes and the bag onto the ramp. Starks celebrates and opens the bag to see Darby's face for some reason. We're down to Cage, Archer, Spears, Seidel, Butcher, Kingston, and Hobbs. Seidel and Spears fight onto the apron, and Matt hits him with a double foot stomp to eliminate him. Very quickly, you have Eddie Kingston and Lance Archer fighting on the outside of the ring for the end of the match. Archer throws Kingston out the middle rope on the Butcher and Blade to win. Lance Archer won, like I had a feeling he would. The Lance Archer is the new number one contender, which one presume means John Moxley will retain the AEW Championship tonight, but it's not as if AEW cares about heels and faces. Going into this match, I gave you all my prediction that MJF would win. Obviously, I was wrong. Like most people said, I was wrong. Um, John Moxley retained. It was a very good match. I'll go into that in a minute. But yeah, so Lance Archer has a future Charlotte Championship. All right. So next we have the Broken Rules match. Um, this was very short. This has been very controversial. Uh, Heard conflicting reports. Still don't know if Matt Hardy had a concussion or not. Just don't know. Um, Basically, long story short, they were fighting out into the arena entranceway, like a backstage area. There was a scissor lift. If you remember correctly, Kenny Omega, if he was going Dynamite, did a moonsault off the scissor lift. But Matt Hardy and Sammy fight onto the scissor lift. Matt Hardy raises it up. They go about 15 feet up in the air. They have a table set up. Um, Matt Hardy goes to the side effect on Sammy Guevara off of the scissor lift onto the table. Sammy blocks it. Sammy grabs Matt and spears him. They were supposed to spear each other. He was supposed to spear him off, and they were supposed to land together, go through the table to break the fall and everything, and everything would have been all right. But they overshot their landing, overshot it, and they missed the table completely, pretty much, my personal opinion. Uh, Matt Hardy's head hit the concrete, and as soon as I watched it, I was like, wow, that was bad. That was horrible. Did his head just hit the concrete? Because I couldn't tell. I kind of could, but happened so fast, Immediately I could tell he was out, done. His face was turning white. His face was turning purple and blue, and you could tell he was knocked out. Uh, the referee did everything she could to stop it. Aubrey Edwards, she blew the X up. She got medical staff out. She stopped it. Sammy even tried to continue. She said, Sammy, no, back up. Sammy just kind of ran away, was still in character, trying to buy time. Uh, they send the medical team out, the doctor out to check on Matt. Matt gets up and still don't look right. Uh, Sammy actually has to drag Matt, and he drags him around, and Matt couldn't even stand up. It was just very scary. Matt didn't have his balance. His equilibrium was off. His balance was off. Coordination, everything. He was just out of it. He was definitely knocked out. Um, it was very scary. So, in my opinion, Tony Khan did the right thing, and he took extra precautions, getting the medical staff out there to check on him and this and that, which a lot of people in wrestling don't do. Um, you know, so I mean, gosh, just thinking, these indie death matches on the indie scene, or the death matches in Japan, the crazy DDT pro wrestling in Japan where they fight on trains and then tubs, and the death matches where what was it, CGW and GCW, where they showed on that wrestling show, they hook up panes of glass and slam each other through glass, and homemade devices, and light tubes, ladders, barbed wire matches with Mick Foley from back in the day. ECW and Jenna would do stuff like this every night. I mean, every night. Um, and they never had medical staff come check on them. They would always finish the match and just go on. Um, Years ago, of course, everybody remembers the famous Mankind and Mick Foley match for Undertaker, where Undertaker threw him off the cell. Even going back and watching that to this day, if Undertaker hadn't have threw him just right, uh, Mick Foley could have died getting thrown off of his cell. Uh, that was just so bad and everything. Uh, Mick Foley should not have continued that match. That should have been stopped. God, the ending was even worse. Remember when he got choke slammed off through the cell and went crashing through the ring? I mean, my God. Uh, but what basically Tony Khan did was he got the medical staff involved, the doctor. What they did was uh, they eventually all get up. Sammy walks into the front of the arena to the back to the ring. Matt, what they do is they cut away. The announcers talk for a few minutes. Matt, couple minutes. Matt then comes out the door and attacks Sammy. So during this time, they're evidently the medical team, the doctors, sent Matt to concussion protocol. Tony basically trusted medical staff, his medical team, his doctor, and said Matt passed concussion protocol. Let him continue the match. Matt wanted to do it. The doctor cleared him. So Tony Khan said, all right, I'll continue the match. So they restarted the match. Matt Hardy actually did a DDT. A lot of people have been saying this wrong. They said, oh, he went straight to the finish, but he actually didn't. They actually rolled around on the ground, and Matt Hardy actually DDT'd him on the floor. And then he picked him up, and they went to the scaffold setting. But I digress. They go to this scaffold, climb the staging equipment. Um, Matt actually looked like he could barely climb it, like he was going to lose his balance climbing up. I noticed that. They climb up. Matt punches Sammy Guevara off. Sammy Guevara falls to a crash pad and doesn't answer at the count of 10. Matt Hardy wins. Sammy loses. Um, so this was it was an accident. It's a very scary, unfortunate incident. We're getting victim reports. Matt Hardy's wife is very protective of Matt and gets very heated and is very confrontational, as well she should have been about this. She went on the internet blasting AEW, the company, and everybody for allowing the match to continue and all this going on. She cussed at Matt, and she showed screenshots and texts with Matt cussing at Matt, cussing about the situation. Um, yeah, so she's not happy. Tony Khan was interviewed after the match and said he had protocols in place. When Aubrey stopped the match, Tony Khan got word, and Tony Khan sent the medical staff out there to check on him, and they said he was clear protocol. He was okay to continue, so Tony Khan trusted him, and they let him continue the match. Uh, Rabbi Hardy went on Twitter and said, when she was saying all this crazy, wild stuff, mad, real heated, saying that uh, Matt's at the hospital. He does 100% have a concussion. It was really bad. Tony Khan came out and said he passed all his CT scans and medical tests, and he has no concussion. So I don't know who to believe. I don't know. In my personal opinion, they should have stopped the match on air. I mean, since he barely was knocked out, they should have stopped it. Um, All they had to have done was Tony Khan said that he was knocked out. We didn't think it was safe for him to continue. It was very scary. They'll continue this match later on at another date when Matt's healthy and everything's better. Um, Obviously, stipulation line, storyline wise, you know, Matt could continue the match, so it doesn't really count. He didn't necessarily lose the match, so therefore he's not better than AEW. He's still in AEW. Um, and people would have understood that and been okay with it. Um, but in times like this, Tony Khan had to make an executive decision. It was a gut check decision, and he did. He made decisions he thought he had to make. I'm sure now, if he had to do it over again, he wouldn't. But you live and you learn. Glad Matt's okay, and glad everybody's okay, and I just hope it never happens again. Um, yep. So that was that. And also, I want to say, I think JD from NY mentioned in one of his videos that this fall mountain on my heart. I just want to say something to that effect too. Remember, Owen Hart died falling out of the Raptors years ago on the pay per view, doing a stunt that he didn't want to do. They went over that in Dark Side of the Ring with unsafe equipment and all that. Was out on the Dark Side of the Ring episode. And Jerry Lawler, had knew that he was dead, and several people knew that Owen was dead. Just a few minutes after it happened. Um, but what does WWE and Vince do? Vince said the show must go on. The guy just died in the ring on live pay per view in front of everybody, in front of all the wrestlers and fans. Vince said, "Let's continue on the show." And they continued the show. And to this day, they showed on that episode outside the ring on that story that there's still you can still in that arena you can still see the blood marks and the um, stains and like indents and stuff of where Owen fell to his death. And Vince and them continued the match. So that was probably just the worst thing he could do. And yet, Matt Hardy took a really bad fall. They had doctors check on him. They trusted the doctors and they said he could continue, and they said they wanted to continue the match, so they finished it and got the outcome. Didn't nobody die, even though it was very bad. Um, AEW did take precaution. They was terrible, and everybody's giving them down the road, but yet Owen Hart basically got killed over nothing, over something stupid that didn't even want to happen, that he didn't even want to do. Uh, Safety precautions wasn't in place. It wasn't safe. He basically died right there in front of the ring, in front of the world, in front of everybody. And Vince McMahon said, "Oh, let's go." They knew he was dead. Vince McMahon says, "Oh, let's go finish. Let's go continue the pay per view. Let's continue." I think that's a whole lot worse than what AEW done with this Matt Hardy situation, in my opinion. But it's okay. Also, I want to mention too. I forgot to mention earlier about the Battle Royal. The Joker card that was a mystery opponent in the Battle Royal. A mystery entrant was Matt Sydal, formerly Evan Bourne in WWE. Uh, Good wrestler. I always liked him. I was surprised to see him. I wasn't expecting that. Um, they said that it was really hot outside, whether in Florida, it's an outdoor amphitheater, outdoor arena. Uh, that it was very hot and humid. The humidity, it's probably said why there was some botches and why the fans were kind of in and out of the show, especially after the after the Matt Hardy part. But when Matt Sydal come out to the ring, got on the top rope to do his shooting star press that he does, and the rope's so slippery, was so wet, slippery, and hot. He slipped and fell on the off the turnbuckle in the ring and almost basically landed on his neck. I thought he about broke his neck. It was very bad. A lot of people were roasting him, giving him crap online. So I felt bad for him. That was just an unfortunate accident. Uh, for those that remember, Coach Kingston a couple months ago in one of their pay per views slipped and fell, going on the ring ropes, walking on the ring ropes, and he never slips or never slips on anything. Coach Kingston, I've never seen him slip before in my life, and he done it. Many people didn't give him slack about it, but whatever. Uh, all right, next, this is when the show really picked up. Um, AEW Women's Championship match. I was really excited for this match. It was a very good match. I knew it would be. I had a feeling Hikaru Shida was going to win, but I was pulling for Thunder Rosa, even though I do like Shida too. Shida hits a knee and Rosa comes back for German suplex. Shida kicks Rosa, hits a Falcon Arrow, but Rosa kicks out at one. Shida looks for another Falcon Arrow, but Rose rolls up for two. Shida finally catches Rosa in the stretch muffler, but Thunder gets to the ropes. Rosa hits a backstab before a 2 count. Then they trade shots on their knees. Shida lifts Rosa and hits a beautiful backbreaker for a near fall. Shida powers up and hits a running knee for the win. Hikaru Shida won. This was a very good match. I hope AEW wants to make a deal for us and get to sign her, or she can wrestle both shows with AEW and uh, NWA, because AEW needs her badly, in my opinion. Um, Kip said before announced they're going to get married and it will be live on Dynamite. For that, there needs to be a bachelor party, and this weekend he will reveal who the best man is. He did pitch his Twitch gaming channel. That was a nice little jab at WWE, where Vince is reportedly banning all the WWE superstars from using Twitch, Cameo, and other third-party apps, TikTok, etc., which I think is dumb. That's a whole other conversation for a whole other day, whole other story for a whole other day. Yep. So another good women's match with Thunder Rosa. That was basically what, like two weeks in a row now. They've had really good women's matches. Both involving Thunder Rosa. Need to sign her immediately. She's big time. Uh, Next, we have Dark Order versus Natural Nightmares, McDonough and Scorpio Sky. This was a good match for what it was. A little long. This is kind of like something you would see on Dynamite or even the AEW Dark episode. Not saying this was bad or terrible by any means. This was a good match. Um, but at times, it was long, kind of drawn out. Should have been short. I think it would have made it a little bit more exciting, but it's still a good match, and I liked it. Um, Cabana gets tagged and attempts a moonsault, but misses, and Dustin rolls him up for the win. Natural Nightmare, Scorpio Sky, and Macadona beat the Dark Order. Um, they also did a thing with Brody Lee was mad at Colt Cabana, says, I'm done with you. So I don't know if Colt Cabana's out of the Dark Order now or not, or it's setting up a feud with Colt versus the Dark Order or Colt versus Brody Lee. We'll have to see, but I'm assuming that's where they're going. It's going to be Colt against the Dark Order eventually. Um, If I had to guess, I believe Colt might join the Elite now that Hangman Page's out of the Elite. We'll see. That's just a guess. I don't know if that's going to happen. And you could have the Elite, Colt, and the Young Bucks versus Dark Order in a match on Dynamite. We'll have to see. Or in a storyline. Could be interesting. Um, Dustin Rhodes, after the match, did a really good promo, and Tony interviewed him and said Dustin's going to have the match for the TNC Championship against Brody Lee on Dynamite coming up, so that should be a good match. I'm sure more than likely Brody Lee will win. I'd be shocked if he doesn't, but I believe him and Dustin should have a good match. Should be good. Good to see Dustin Rhodes get an opportunity at a title. I'm just happy for him. He deserves it. Just really been a great wrestler over the years, and was very badly misused for years in WWE, especially the last 10, 15 years or so. Uh, yeah. So another very good match. I liked it. Um, AEW World Tag Team Championship match. Hangman Page, Kenny Omega versus FTR. Tully Blanchard at ringside. This was a very good match. I loved it. FTR looked really good. Kenny and Hangman looked good. Um, Champions look for the last call, but Willow avoids it, and Kenny drops Page with a V trigger. Wheeler immediately capitalized with a chop block to Kenny. Tied to Dax, they hit the mind breaker power drive, but Heyman kicks out. F. Carlos hit the mind breaker again and get it, and that's it. Uh, Winners the new tag team champions, FTR. Um, Omega chases off FTR off an old wooden desk after the match, and he's obviously going to hit Hangman. He stares at the desk and tosses it away, and Hangman stumbles toward him, but he steps aside, lets Page collapse. Omega goes backstage, and the Bucks are there. He tells them he's done, and they follow him out. Omega gets to an SUV and tells them that they have to come out or he's done. They leave him, leave. They leave. They let him leave alone. This was strange. I thought after this match, either Hangman was going to turn on Kenny or Kenny was going to turn on Hangman. Still didn't fully happen yet. They're still teasing it. They hadn't pulled the trigger on it yet. I was surprised. They should be pulling the trigger on it any time now. Obviously, this has been a slow burn, which I've really enjoyed. Um, and I still kind of like it that they've done it this way, looking at it like this, because when you think about it and look at the way they've been doing it and building it, um, I like it. They just keep you intrigued and keep you invested and intrigued and keep you guessing and wondering how they're going to do it. So I liked it. They're milking it and doing a good job of it, in my opinion. Yep. Next match was the Mimosa Mayhem match. I really liked this match. Thought it was a fun match. Um, Jericho looked good, wrestled good. Cassie wrestled very good. Thought this was a very good match. Uh, Orange goes to the top rope and jumps off right into a code breaker, but he kicks out. Jericho punches him on the mat, looks to toss him over the ropes, but OC grabs the ropes. Jericho grabs Cassie on the top rope, but OC fights him off, then hits the orange punch, then a second one, and Watcher J flies into the vat of orange juice mimosa. It was funny. I liked it. Funny little ending. I was glad Orange Cassidy won, and I think this did get Orange Cassidy over. Um, that was the whole point of the feud. Jericho said they don't want to do so recently, but yeah, I liked it. I know a lot of fans wasn't, a lot of people, what fans and people wasn't had satisfied with this ride and what didn't like Jericho's work in this ride, but I personally loved it. I thought he did a very good job, and he said it in his YouTube show, and I'll say it for him too. Jericho did what he was supposed to do. Ric Flair done it a lot. He was supposed to put young guys over, put other guys over. Jericho has already won so much. Jericho was never win another match ever in wrestling. It wouldn't really matter. He doesn't need to win anymore. He is a star, a mega star, superstar, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Not just my opinion, but it's pretty much a fact. Go watch any of his matches. Go look at read his accomplishments. Go look at his biographies. Man wrestled everywhere, wrestled all over the world, won numerous titles everywhere. Had really great matches with a lot of great wrestlers. Had classic matches. Won a lot of championships. Been in a lot of big time feuds. So I mean, nobody can say that MJF that Jericho is not a great wrestler and he's not a wrestling legend. He's not one of the greatest best wrestlers of all time. I challenge you to say that he's not. I challenge you because I ain't gonna believe you. Uh, all right, so now we have the main event, the AEW World Championship. John Moxley versus MJF for Wardlow. Uh, I will say I thought Moxley looked good. I thought this was a really good match. I thought MJF looked really good. I want to say this is the best match I've ever seen MJF have, and I've watched a lot of his matches even before he was in AEW. I watched his MLW stuff, and he had some good matches in there. Uh, Happened to sleep hard. MJF was bleeding a lot, MJF had a lot of blood in this match. It was another good match, had a lot of blood. MJF grabs the referee and low blows Moxley, then rolls him up for a near fall. MJF motions for Wardlow to give him the dynamite diamond ring, so he gets on the apron and tosses it, but MJF misses. Referee distracted Wardlow, and Moxley hits the Paragon shift for the win. Winner's John Moxley. Moxley celebrates his hard-fought title win. We see Lance Archer and Jake Roberts in the crowd. The next turn, Moxley gives Archer the finger and shouts to the camera that he's untouchable. And that's it for the show. It goes off the air. So there you have it. Moxley still the champion. I was wrong again. Moxley retains the title, which I'm okay with. If I think now was the perfect time to give it to MJF, but title change. But Moxley winning, is okay too. So now we'll get ready to build John Moxley versus Lance Archer title match. So that should be good. Title storyline, so that should be good. So that's it for the pay per view. My personal opinion, I give this show a 6 out of 10, even with all the mistakes and botches. 6 out of 10. Wasn't a great show, but it was still very good in my opinion. I personally liked it a lot. I liked it better than WrestleMania. I liked it better than SummerSlam, and I liked SummerSlam, and I liked Takeover. I liked this better than Takeover. This was a very good pay per view, in my opinion. Even with the faults, AEW, still thought did a great job. I thought all the wrestlers worked really hard. You could tell they was all really trying. Um, just a very good pay per view, in my opinion, and actually enjoyed all the matches, even the pre-show matches. Um, Only match I didn't really enjoy that I thought sucked, was terrible, was the Britt Baker Big Swole match. But all the matches I thought were good. Even the promos and stuff I liked. Um, so I thought this was a very good pay per view. I personally really enjoyed it. I don't think it's as bad as a lot of people were saying it was, people on YouTube and Twitter and such. Uh, there you have my final score for this pay per view. AEW All Out 2020, 6 out of 10. So that's it for this review. I'll see you guys for the next review, next episode of my show for Dynamite this week. So I'll try to have the video out, Thursday or Friday, how it is. It's on a little late, but I'll try to get it out as soon as possible. Hope y'all like it. Leave me comments, give me feedback on what your thoughts on my show and my thoughts on this particular episode and my opinions. I'd love to hear your opinions and your thoughts. Uh, Thank you so much. Hope everybody's doing well. Happy wrestling. See you.